Hello, hello. Welcome to Transformation Conversations. I am Coach Gail Benson, and I am on here tonight, happily here to talk with you about episode number 6. How are you doing? And let's be honest. Welcome to tonight's conversation. Today is I switched things up a little bit. Let me tell you what happened. So, I had a whole structured guideline and outline for tonight's discussion, and I was just working through my day. And I felt like I was forcing the conversation and the discussion that I was going to have tonight. So I said, you know what? I'm going to be true to the space that I am in tonight. And I just want to do a check in. I want to check in with our transformation tribe and everyone else who decides to come in and watch us and do a real check in. There's a lot of us that don't often hear the question, how are you doing? And then the people wait for a response. Because how are you doing? A lot of times when I hear how are you doing, it has feet. I hear how are you doing in passing. There's no interest or pause or wait for a response. How are you doing has become something that just rolls off of our tongue. It's just like a nicety and pleasantries when you just say, how are you doing? Boop, 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 and keep walking. I do not being in the space that I'm in now, where my life and the trajectory that I am going. I want to be intentional when I talk to people. I want to be intentional when I ask you a question. I want to stick around and show my true interest in what your answer is. So tonight, I am checking in to see how are you doing? How are you faring? How are you moving forward and staying motivated? There's a lot of questions. That one phrase, that one question can unravel so many layers of different things. How are you doing? And depending on how you're doing, will dictate which way that conversation is going to go, especially if you have someone that's listening. So tonight, I am going to be the listening ear. I want us to come in. You can leave your comments and engage in the comments and share because you never know who's in the comments with you that is sharing the same experiences that you are or has experienced that in the past and has successfully gone through, or just to come together as a community um, and grow and just share real time of connecting and establishing organic relationships while we're here transforming through conversation. Okay, so thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you for liking and subscribing. If you are not a part of the transformation conversations, you're not a part of our transformation tribe, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to this thing. Come in here and talk with us every week. We have a Facebook page. Please subscribe. Go ahead and follow the Facebook page, Transformation Conversations. This is a space that is number one, it is a safe space. It is a space where we can be transparent. Let me tell you, we don't do the negative energy, negative talk. We don't do that here. This is a space of growth. This is a space of, how do I want to say, support. So, with that being said, I'm going to talk to you about what made me change my mind about my talk tonight. And, you know, we go through the motions an awful lot. And I was trying to figure out how could I, my structured conversation was identifying your special gifts and applying them to your lives for professional and personal development. And I had a whole guideline and outline with notes and everything. It was phenomenal. I may do it again at some point, but I was really prepared tonight with I don't know if you can see that, all of my notes and my outlines, identifying your gifts and encourage audience to engage in applying your gifts in business, discuss how these gifts can be applied, and give real life examples. Now, I do want to talk about real life examples, but I just felt like I was forcing myself with the structure of this discussion. I just wanted to be organic. I just wanted to be real. I'm going to share with you, I was really feeling overwhelmed trying to just follow this structure. And I'm like, you know what? I just want to have an open conversation with the Transformation Tribe and check in to see how everyone else is doing because I I don't want to think that I am the only one experiencing some of this angst. Hello, Odie. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming on. You are such a loyal supporter. Thank you for being a part of the Transformation Tribe. I always smile when I see you come in. And so, what I'm talking about is how I just veered away from the structured conversation that I wanted to have tonight. I was going to, talk about identifying our strengths and our gifts and how to apply them in business and how do we grow professionally and personally from those. But I am just feeling overwhelmed trying to follow that structure. We love having you. You know, I got to show this. I love that you love it here. We love having you here. You make the conversation in the community such a wonderful space to be in, and we truly, truly love and appreciate you. I have been watching you bloom and blossom all over the place. And I want to ask, have you experienced that, Odie, where you feel like you're almost forcing the square peg in the round hole, trying to follow certain structures that we envision that is what we're supposed to do. But sometimes we have to step away from the norm, it's the last conversation that we had, and do things a little differently. So that's why I got away from my discussion structure tonight because I felt like I was forcing that conversation. And I made a comment, and I think I was in threads, and I was saying that, we don't often hear that question of how are you doing? And people are genuinely interested in your response and to see where you are, what are you doing, and how are you doing it? You know, and one of the things that came across my mind was just that. Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or am I doing what I want to do? you know, and I really could not answer myself. I was like, am I just doing what I want to do, or is this what I need to be doing? So me peeling back that layer of the onion, I was like, ugh, I don't know. I had to check myself. And that's the first thing that I get in a habit to do when I find myself, maybe if I find myself bumping into a few walls, or a couple of bricks start falling on my head, I'm like, well, hold up. Okay, let me look at what I'm doing. What am I doing? And this is what I need to be doing. And if it is, am I doing it correctly? Do I need to look outside of the box? And I will tell you, having those conversations with yourself and unraveling some of those answers, it might get a little uncomfortable. It might feel a little, overwhelming, but we have to ask because one thing we cannot do is waste time and effort. That is too valuable and we can't get it back. Absolutely, Odie. We have to fall back and look at ourselves because at the end of the day, we have to self assess because we are sitting with us 24/7. And several things that we do are going to impact how we are A, doing business, B, how we are seeing the world, C, how we are seeing people, and D, how we're responding to people, or E, all of the above. Okay. So, who we are and how we are seeing things affects every facet or every layer of our lives. So self-evaluation is key. That is absolutely correct, Odie. And if we just do that, because I'm going to tell you something, we come in contact with a lot of people throughout the day, whether it's physical contact, whether it's through email, on the internet, social media, you, God knows what you're going to see while you're out here and your lives are colliding with people. All of them are not like-minded, all of them are not growth-minded, and we still have to make sure that we keep moving and stay motivated no matter what speed bumps and humps come our way throughout the day. When we get into that place where we start questioning what are we doing, and I can't let a bad experience that I've had, or I responded holding on to, maybe I felt like, oh, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, I didn't respond, maybe that wasn't right, and I'm overthinking things. And I always say, give yourself two things: give yourself grace and give yourself a chance. You always have an opportunity to reassess, look at what happened, but don't live there. Move past it. When people affect your day, don't stay there and continue to give them your energy, especially if it's negative energy, because they don't deserve it. And now you are holding yourself captive in a moment that you had with somebody. And when you're out here and your life is exposed and your paths are crossing with different people, you're not meant to stay there. Whatever that interaction is, have the interaction and keep moving. How do we do that? We got to find the tools. We have to make sure that we have the tools to move ourselves forward and not allow ourselves to be hijacked in a moment, encapsulated in a space in time, especially if it's a negative space. You just stuck here in this bubble with negativity, a negative experience, and you keep playing it over and over again in your head. And oh, I should have said this. Oh, you know what? I should have. You are in bondage now. And baby, bondage is not for me. I had to free myself some time ago. And if it's a freeing experience when you do not allow yourself to be encapsulated in other people's energy. You can't allow yourself to start living in other people's expectations of you. You have to absolutely, Odie, we have got to put in the work, because at the end of the day, we can't look at anybody else but ourselves. So, how are you doing? I really wholeheartedly mean that, because checking in with you, maybe the one time you hear it this week. How are you doing? And let's be honest. What are some of the things you're running into? What does support look like for you this week, or even today? These things change so much all the time, depending on where you're at and what you're dealing with. So having that space to really come and say, in my business, I'm facing this, or just personally, my business is fine, but personally, I don't have enough time to give to my family, or I feel like I'm being punished because I work too much. And God knows I hear that and deal with that. But at the end of the day, nobody's responsible for you and your dreams. Nobody's responsible for the gifts that you have been given. So we make sacrifices, but I don't want us to be one of the sacrifices. And all too often, we get very used to sacrificing ourselves. I talk about that all the time because and I still do it sometimes. So I'm not even gonna lie and say I used to do that. I have to catch myself. I have to catch myself and not sacrificing myself or my sanity, baby. Let me tell you something. I am at a place in my life where my sanity and my peace is paramount. That is my priority. Peace is a priority for me. And however that looks for me, That is what I am going to do. Let us not get stuck in what other people think, what their opinion or ideas of what peace and prosperity is. That is different for everyone. That's very different. So it depends on who you are, what you're dealing with, and how you see the world. I can't make Odie see the world the way I see the world because my vision has been created by my life's experiences, and her vision of the world has become her prescription because of her life's experiences. And the great thing about that is we can share our experiences and then learn from one another. I can learn from her to understand her point of view and how she sees things. And maybe I will come across something along my path that will allow me to implement something I learned from her, from something she experienced. So we don't have to live the lives of other people or live it the way that they do. But when they share information, experiences, and resources with you, there's going to be a moment in your life that you may be able to apply that and do it successfully. So Odie says, people will think what they want. Absolutely, child. It don't matter what you say or what you do. People have their own ideas of life and of you, and we cannot get stuck in their world. I will not do it. I will not do it. If we, you know how many lives we would have to live to try to live up to the expectations of every bubble from every single person, whether it's family, friends, professional. You have to have, you have to have a real talk with yourself about who you are. And I had this conversation with myself right before my 50th birthday. And I asked myself, who am I going to be? Because I was exhausted. I was exhausted being the one to always make sure I check up on everybody and send you a text and make sure I call you and make sure I stroke your ego and make, baby. Oh, that's exhausting. I was tired. You hear me? And I did not want to be that person anymore. And when I started sitting back and paying attention to myself, I noticed that when I didn't give what people expected, then it was all the questions. No, we don't get to ask questions. This is what I'm doing. I owe no explanation. And this is how I'm running my life. I'm not making an announcement. I'm not running a campaign about it. This is what I'm doing. If we are going to continue to grow together, we just have to acknowledge the change and the shifts and learn how to grow from this point together. If that cannot happen, we understand that you excuse yourself from our journey. That's the way that goes. That is the way that goes, baby. When I tell you, Odie, when you see the reactions, when you start living for you and doing for you, please take note. Please take note. It's nothing negative about it, but recognize it for what it is. But don't stop taking care of you. Don't stop paying attention and investing in yourself because other people don't know how to accept what looks good and benefits you. Because people are not going to look outside of themselves. They people see what they want or what they think they want for you, which has nothing to do with me. What you want from me has nothing to do with me. If it's coming from a positive light, God bless you. And I appreciate you. Please continue to support my businesses because this is how I support my family. But what I see for myself and how I see myself doing business and what is benefiting me in my business is the biggest priority for me. And I hope you all make it a priority for you to not get caught up. not get caught up wearing somebody else's glasses. Because, honey, you'll put them bifocals on and can't see a thing and run into walls and fall downstairs. You can't, you can't live and walk through life with someone else's views. You have to do what's going to be best for you and make sure that you check in. Yes, it is fuel. And that's another thing that it is fuel, Odie. I'm glad you said that because I have a talk coming up. I'm not sure if I'm just gonna add it to one of my courses or just do it here. I have a talk, a discussion coming up called Blessed by My Enemies. And I want to get away from people talking about haters. You know, I I I've switched my view on these things about haters. Let me tell you something. These people are perfectly aligned to do whatever it is that they're doing so that it will push you and fuel you to move. It will force you to do something different. So some of these people are a part of God's plan. So don't don't look at them as your haters. They are the classic saying, they are your motivators. Honey, they are a part of the alignment to move you. So the more you see these motivators coming, that means God is trying to push you closer and closer and closer to what it is you actually need to be doing. So Odie, you are spot on. You are spot on. They are giving you fuel to keep going. Use that fuel. Do not look at it in a negative light. Take whatever attention that is, if it's a negative spin on that, you know what to do with that. Harness your energy and protect your peace. But don't live in that space with them. Don't get stuck in that bubble with them. You leave them right there and keep moving. Fuel that. Because I'm going to tell you something. Once you fill your tank up at the gas station, do you stay there and keep pumping? No. You fill your tank up and you keep moving. You keep going. And that is what that is what I am continuing to learn how to do is to keep moving. It's not every day, it's not perfect. I would be lying if I told you it was because it's not. And that's why I want to make sure we do check in on each other because I know it's just not me. I know it's just not, Odie. I know it's just not other, aspiring business owners, seasoned business owners, new business owners, other professional women, women in general. We all experience similar things in our lives, and our walk is more similar than we think. So when I say check in, I want us to check in because we are not often asked how we're doing. And all of these different nuances about our lives, um, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit about just how much we do and how much we're doing or how much we're carrying on our shoulders. I think because it is a common thing and we do it so often. I'm not going to say we do it so well because a lot of times we're falling apart. We're just bursting at the seams and we just keep going. And when a piece of us falls down and falls off, we just pick it up and get a piece of duct tape or a staple and piece ourselves back together and keep moving forward. And I do not want that for us because just because we've done it for so long and that's all we know how to do is not what we need to be doing. And that's what I said. How are you doing? What are you doing? And how are you doing it? Because if there's some support, tell us what support looks like for you. Yes, Odie, we carry so much and we don't give ourselves enough credit. And this is what I'll ask you to do. This is something that I'll ask you to do. Do you really know what all you're carrying? Sit down with a piece of paper and just write out everything that you are dealing with, everything you are managing, the things that you are hoping for, and and look at how that list grows. I promise you, you're still going to miss some things. I know you will because some things subconscious we do subconsciously, and we've had some achievements We've done some things in our lives that we don't even give ourselves credit for. I want you to take time to go back and look at yourself and look at your greatness. Don't look at harnessing negative energy. Don't look at the challenges you've been facing. That's just training and preparation. Look at your greatness. Please, Odie, write it down. And I'm gonna come back and do a short, or even after you do it, put it in the comments in the video, because somebody somewhere is gonna watch the replay, or somebody somewhere is gonna be able to connect. But give yourself grace, give yourself a chance. Acknowledge the things that you have completed. Acknowledge the things that you have done. Just think about it. That list is going to grow. All you've done, everything you're managing, everything you're dealing with. And I promise you, you'll be amazed at some of the things that you've forgotten that you've accomplished. And also on that list, is there something on there that you can check off? What are the things that we're doing in our everyday lives because it's habitual, but do we really need to be doing it? Does it really need to be taking up our time? Is it something that requires our energy? Honey, let me tell you something. I have a notebook here, and y'all know I got a lot of notebooks. Got a lot of notebooks. But I have been crossing some things off that no longer require my energy, or my time. And we have to look at and stop feeling guilty about letting things go. Oh, people, stop feeling guilty about that. Because if you feel in your heart that you are forcing this thing, but you keep doing it just because you've always done it, that is a sign to let it go. Because number one, it's not worth the anxiety and the frustration that you're experiencing trying to continue that thing, and you're ready to let it go, but you don't know how to because you've always done it. So what I want you to ask yourself is, if I didn't do this, what would I do? If I didn't have to do that, what would I do with my time? And then you will, and how important is it to me to do it? How important is it to you to do what's necessary for you? Because we don't blink an eye to come up with the definition of what it looks like or why we have to do things for other people. We don't take long to do that at all. But what about us? What is it that we need to do for ourselves? How important is it to do these things for us? And the number one thing, and when I talk to my business growth strategist, Anita Larson from Leader Coaching, this is a common discussion about the things that we need to do for ourselves, we put off because other things are more important. When it comes to business and investing in yourself, we feel guilty. And I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth, because I did. I felt guilty when I invested in my business. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I spent that money. Then I thought about it. I was like, that's for me. I am worth every bit of that and more. And there's still more that I need to do for myself. So I have to believe in me. I have to invest in me, because nobody's going to come along and say, you know what, Gail, I know you want to do XYZ and make it happen. Here you go. That's not a reality. Not for me. It's not a reality. I have a lot on my plate, and maybe one of these discussions I will open up about it. But when I say I have a lot on my plate, I have a lot on my plate, and one of the two main things, maybe the three, is that I have a daughter in college. I have a daughter out here in the world on her own and going to nursing school, living on her own, and I have to run and provide for my entire household. I have no other I have no other excuse. I have to. My why is I have to, but what I get to choose what I do for my have to. I choose me. I choose what I love to do is being on here. What I love to do is coming on here, talking to the Transformation Tribe. I get to choose how I do what I have to do. Because we all know most of us have to do something. We have lives, and William come several times a month. And if William not knocking at your door, share with me what you doing. Oh, you don't know William? Oh, you might know him by Bill. Okay. Bill come religiously several times a month. I hate going to the mailbox. I just I do the paperless billing because I'm sick of when I open my mailbox and the stuff just falling out. So yeah, William show up two and three several times a month, and he requires my attention. So that's why I have to do what I have to do, but I choose what I do to do what I have to do. And investing in myself, investing in my businesses, taking the time to do the things that make me feel good, and also that I share with other people. That is what my gift has charged me with. My masterful creator has charged me with that. It's just to share with other people. And that is what I do. I invest in myself so that when I do come on to share with people, that I'm offering something of value, that I'm really offering you something. And I'm just not on here rambling and talking and complaining. I want to share real life experiences with you. Absolutely, Odie. Absolutely. Odie says, I have closed the door on the guilt of letting people go. We have to do that. It is for our own good. It really is. And the feeling of release, it's the reward of the release feels so good when you get past that threshold. So when I say we have to stop being feeling guilty about taking care of ourselves. We have to stop feeling guilty about investing in our businesses. One of the things, I'm telling you from experience because this was me. Everything I'm telling you, I did myself. And some of the stuff I'm still doing, and I have to walk myself through certain steps, and I have to coach myself. I coach myself on a daily basis, okay? So trust me, one of the things, if I want to see my business thrive, I can't feel bad about I have to take money and put it into my marketing because just going on the internet and social media is not getting it because it's not going to reach the people that I need to reach. Somebody that needs my light or somebody that I need to be exposed to that may have growth and important information for me, it may not be on social media, may not be in that little box and hub of just posting and putting things in social media. So investing in myself, investing in my business, taking the time, please take the time to strategize on how you're going to do your have to. How are you going to do what you have to do by doing what you want to do? And that is where your gifts come in. How do you identify what your gift is? How do we apply these things to our everyday lives? It's just not business. It's not just about business. It's about personal development, who we are as people. And I mentioned this earlier. Our life experiences dictate and drive how we see the world. The world meaning ourselves, our family, our businesses, just our everyday lives. And some of our belief systems are the biggest hindrances in our lives because that goes back to that's how we've always done it. Oh, my grandmother did it this way, my mother did it this way, and I feel like I have to do it that way. My first decision when I decided to break away from that, what we call tradition, um, was holidays. I was so overwhelmed with all the cooking and everything I had to do. I just broke away from it. And my first holiday, I was like, I'm not cooking. I'll go out. I'm not cooking. I catered some food in. I had like maybe 10 people at my house. I just wasn't going to do it. Now, me, I love to cook. So when I feel like cooking, I will. If I don't, I won't. You know, and we don't always get to be so cut and dry in business because there's some things that business will require you to do, but that is something that you have to do. But again, you go back and you dictate what you do to support your what you have to do. So when you get to those moments where you're trying to figure it all out, check in. Let's check in. We come in every week. We come on the transformation conversations and we check in. I'm telling you, this was not my discussion tonight. But I just wanted to be very real. I didn't want to come on here forcing a fake conversation because that's something I can't do. I just cannot do it. This is the space I was in tonight, and I just want to thank you for letting me come on and be very transparent with you all, tonight. Again, I'm going to ask you to take the time to make a list of your greatness, make a list of all your accomplishments, and then list the things that you're dealing with that maybe you're not facing head on. The things that you're dealing with, go through that list. Look at the things and admire everything that you've done and accomplished because you deserve that recognition. Hats off to you and congratulations because you're already a conqueror. You've made it through today. So make your list, check it twice, and see some of the things that you may not have to do. Evaluate what can you get rid of to allow yourself more space and time for you? What can you get rid of that's not benefiting you? And how can you realign your time so that you're able to find the time and the tools to invest in yourself? Don't put yourself on the back burner. Do what it is you love to do. If it's your hobby, if it's your business, come back and see us and tell us about it. Leave us your comments, like and subscribe to the Transformation Conversations. This is episode number 6, and I'm excited. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be because I pray before I do my discussions. So wherever I'm led and God leads me is what I'm going to do. And it's one of the most magnificent feelings that I get to come on here and do this every week. So I appreciate you all coming on tonight and watching Transformation Conversations. I hope you join the Transformation Tribe by liking and subscribing and also following our Facebook page. Please share your thoughts. Please share your energy with me in the comments. I do get notified and I come back and I respond. I don't think I've missed anybody, but I will definitely be checking in. Follow me on Instagram at Coach_Gail Benson. I pop I post reels. I try to be very present, on social media to shine the light. But join me if you are in Central Florida for the next Woman to Woman Network brunch event. It is going to be on July 20th. I will post the description, post the link in the description, or you can text, and I'm going to put it in the banner here. I want to put it in the text so that if you are going to be in the area, please text us and you can get registered. I hope I spelled that right because I'm trying to do it really quick. I don't think I spelled that right. Let me see. No. You should have seen. I wish y'all could have seen what I what I wrote. My goodness, I'm glad I went back and changed that. My goodness, but yes, please, you can text the word brunch to 321-878-8587 to register for any of the Woman to Woman networking events. We are in over 20 cities in the United States of America. So go and register, check out the site. We are preparing for our annual conference. I'm so excited about it. So if you have any questions, please feel free. Come in the comments, drop by, come and see me on Instagram or follow us on Facebook at the Transformation Conversations page. I appreciate you all. I hope you enjoyed the conversation tonight. Like and subscribe. And don't forget, love you. Bye. Good night.